Okay, I'll show you how to make it. Welcome back to my workshop. Now in today's video I've got to make one of these, which is a radiator cover. Now obviously the person who wants this wants one a specific size, so I'm going to make one. Okay, let me show you what I've got. Okay, for this project I hadn't been able to get full sheets of MDF, so what I've got is half a sheet of 9mm and one half a sheet of 18mm. Now the reason I've got half sheets is because obviously the limitations on getting material cut at my local store. Okay, so what I'm going to do is mark up these and see if I can assess what I need and how much I can cut out for each one. Right, so this is my first half sheet cut, and I was hoping to get all of the components out of the one sheet, but I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, so what have we got here? Right, first of all, the top, which is this piece. Then we've got these three uprights, 1, 2, 3, which is this one, and this one. Then we've got these 4 battens here, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay, so that leaves us with this bit. Now the problem is I still have to get 2 of these sides, one this side and one the other side, so I'm probably going to have to buy another half a sheet. Oh well, right, but that's not too much waste out of the first piece. The 9mm piece for the cross braces, I'll have to wait until I know exactly how big they've got to be. Right, I better go and get some more wood. Right, so I've just been out, Saturday, traffic, it's chaos. Managed to get myself a third of a sheet of MDF, which is very expensive. Because you can't buy half sheets because everyone's bought those because they're not cutting the MDF in the store. So you can't get, we need some normal back. Right, let me cut this. Okay, so now I've cut my side pieces here. I just want to quickly clamp it all together to see what we've got and to get an idea of the scale of everything. So now that gives me an idea of my dimensions. So I can now figure out this distance so I can start cutting my 9mm MDF. Okay, so next stage is I want to know how wide these pieces have got to be. My cross braces, which is this piece. Okay, I need to know how wide these have got to be. So first thing I've got to do is I've got the top here turned on its side. I need to find the center, so literally measure this. Okay, so find my halfway point, use a little square and make a little line, then find my center upright, Find the center point with that, same thing, measure the width of it and then half it and put a line. So those two now line up in the middle. So on the ends, what I want to have is about a 5mm overhang on the top of the radiator. So I just made a little line 5mm in, and that'll be the edge of this front one, and I did the same on the other side. Right, okay. So now to determine the size of my cross pieces, all I need to do is literally measure between there, and that should give me exactly the right size, which is 95. So all I have to do now is cut my 4 cross braces to 95, and they should fit in there a treat. Right, because I'm a complete numpty, I decided to check my own measurements, and yes, I got them wrong. Well done me. I measured this here and I said 95. Yeah, that wasn't 95 at all. It's 496mm. Right, good job I checked. Right, I'm going to go and cut some buttons at 496mm. That's better. Okay, so before I go any further, these joints here on all the cross braces, they're basically a butt joint. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and use pocket hole joints here, but I don't think you're supposed to use them on MDF. So what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of my offcuts here. I'm going to quickly try and do a pocket hole joint, obviously with some glue, and see how successful it is. I think it'll be okay, but generally you wouldn't use pocket holes with MDF. Let's see if I can get this to work. Okay, so I've quickly tried a couple of pocket holes here. I've not run through the process because I've used it in loads of my other videos. If you want to see them, check out some of my other videos where I go through the whole process of using this. Okay, but this is without any glue. I've just done 2 pocket holes, and actually the joint is really good. So I should imagine once that's sanded, there'll be a profile on here anyway. So yeah, that seems fairly successful. I'm going to go with that. One down, 3 to go. Okay, so before I go any further, what I need to do is determine this gap at the top here and this gap at the bottom here. Okay, because I need to know where these rails are going to go, and then I'll screw them in. So what I'm going to do is, obviously this gap at the top here only wants to be a small gap. That's what it shows on the picture. So I'm going to do that about 30mm, just over an inch. Doesn't need to be precise. And the bottom, I'm probably going to do it about 100mm from the bottom. So about 4 inches from the bottom. That way, if you have it too high at the bottom, you're going to be able to see the bottom of the radiator, which is not going to be good. But with a little gap at the bottom, you'll be able to get your vacuum cleaner in to clean out all the fluff. Right, where are we? Well, Mrs. Little Workshop just bought me out a cup of coffee. Thank you very much. And she physically caught me standing here scratching my head. I was like this, trying to figure out what I'm doing next. Right, so what I am doing next is I've quickly clamped the framework together. This is obviously the front panel. Now what I want to do is sort out the panels that are going in the fronts here. So the idea is I'm going to rebate, so put a little rebate along here and then along the bottom, up the other side, and then along the top. Okay, I've got to do that for this panel and that panel. Okay, so what I've done is, let me trip over everything here. I've set up my router table here with a 9mm router bit, and that should be the same as this panel here, which is the 9mm MDF. I've set this to a depth of about 6mm with my depth gauge. Okay, so the idea is now, without falling over, so the idea is now I've put marks on my boards top and bottom, so I know where to start and where to finish, and in the bottoms I've got to do obviously the inside edges. All right, I'll get on with it. That's the plan. This is where I really muck it up and I have to start all over again. All right, so let me get on the router table. I've got loads of extraction. I've got the extraction on the back of the router here, and I've also got another extraction hose here. Okay, MDF, nasty stuff. Right, let's crack on. Okay, for my front panels, I'm using the track saw, these tracks, yeah, to actually cut the panels. I just thought I'd point something out. Right, if you're measuring, once you've measured your panel, so in my case it's 507, you put a mark one end, you put a mark the other end. Then all you do is lay your track on your marks, and make sure the track is on the side of the material you want to keep, because otherwise what will happen is you'll cut it and it will be the thickness of the blade too short. So always bear that in mind. Right, so got my dots lined up here and here. My track is on the keep side, not the waste side, and then all I do, make sure it's clamped, turn on my extractor because I'm a good boy. Okay, so now it's cut. The keep side should be the right dimensions. Unclamp. Move that out of the way. On board. Right, we've now got all our front pieces all done. They're all routed out with our groove. We're just going to try a quick dry fit without any glue. That slots in there. Okay, so that's about the size of it. Oh, I can't even move. That's about the size of it. It's quite big, as you can see. Right, that's not glued yet. What I'm going to do now is concentrate on the side panels, and then maybe glue it together and screw it together. Right, so now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the corners on the ends. Now I could just butt them up together, but I'd end up with a raw edge. Now on MDF, a raw edge is notoriously difficult to cover up. It'd always be a bit furry, unless I did loads of sealing and special painting. So what I'm going to try and do is literally cut the two corners at 45 degrees, yeah, which is what I've done here. I've done a little trial. I've cut both these corners at 45 degrees, and I've literally just stuck them together with tape. Now these are a couple of odd pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these overnight. So I've cut these on my table saw, stuck them together with glue, and I've held them together with tape. I'll see what happens, see how strong that is in the morning. This may be a solution. Never done it before. What could possibly go wrong? Right, so it's the next day. I left this drying overnight. This is obviously just 45-degree angles, miter joints, stuck together with wood glue, nothing else. Let's see what it's like. So let's take off my tape. Obviously, it's good. I can do this in front of the radiator. Right, that's all I Right, took long enough. Well, it looks okay. Look at that. Not a rough edge, but how strong is this? Let's try just pulling it apart. It seems quite strong. Let's try standing on it. Okay, so I'm going to put it down that way because that's obviously the weakest way. Is it going to work? Okay. Well, that's looking pretty strong. That's surprisingly strong considering it's just glued. But this way, no, nothing. Right, now I need to know how strong it really is. Let's clamp it to the bench. Okay. It's proper strong. Let's get a spanner. Right, okay, I'm determined to break this now. This is looking a lot stronger than I imagined. Right, this is 18mm MDF. I've got a couple of 19mm spanners, just so I can get a grip on it like this. Now I'm going to do this until it breaks, or something breaks. No? Oh. Right, okay. So it's just chewed the MDF. It's not good. Let's try it again. Oh dear. It's turned into a bit of a strength test. Ready? Right, okay. Yay, broke it. Okay, well it's taken the MDF with it. I think, considering that's going to be in compression all the time on the corner, I think that's going to be more than strong enough. I'm going to go with that. Okay, let's cut it. Right, so we've got our two uprights here at the front. These have both got the 45-degree cut on the corner. We're going to stick them together. Now obviously this is going to be a bit tricky. I've already done one, but I'll just show you how I did the other one. Now obviously you've got to try and keep it straight while you're sticking it, otherwise it's going to be a disaster. Alright, so your friend is tape, masking tape. So best thing to do is get your miters facing downwards. Okay, so both facing downwards. Yeah, so we've got a mitre here and a mitre here, okay, because they're going to be joined together. Line the two pieces up so they're flat against each other like this. Slightly different colour because they're from a different board. Okay, and then the easiest way to do it, because it's this long, piece of tape, stick it there, make sure it doesn't move. and stick. Now obviously you can put more on afterwards. Tear that off. Okay, so now both those edges that are taped together should stay together. Okay, then gently turn it over if I can without twisting it. Okay, so we end up with this. We've got a nice V groove in here now. Pump in a load of wood glue. I'm using this Frank Williams wood glue. Okay, on both faces, I think it'd be best. Okay, so lots of glue, lots of edges. Okay, lots of glue, so it's even. Fold it together. Okay, yeah, fold it together so you get a nice bead of squeeze out there. A piece of tape on here, and make sure this is square. It should be, because obviously you've got 45s. Okay, and then just, now this tape is just holding it in position. Okay. Yeah. You get the idea. Okay, and that leaves you with this. All right, we'll leave that to dry.